Asad, a notoriously greedy merchant, owned a cramped little shop on a crowded street where the smell of spices mixed with the noise of bargaining voices. He polished his coins every night, admiring their shine more than he cared for people. Despite his wealth, he always pretended to be poor so he wouldn't have to help anyone. Each morning, he opened his shop with a forced smile, calculating how to make the highest profit from the smallest item. He often sold ordinary goods as rare treasures, exaggerating stories to raise their prices. Customers left feeling tricked, yet he felt triumphant. One day, a frail old woman entered, clutching a tiny purse with trembling hands. She asked for a loaf of bread, explaining that she hadn't eaten since dawn. Asad raised the price shamelessly, claiming the bread had grown more valuable. The woman begged him, saying her sick grandson was waiting at home, but Asad refused to lower the price by even a single coin. Tears filled her eyes as she walked away hungry. Later that day, a traveling storyteller stopped by the shop to rest. He warned Asad that greed always returned to punish its owner, but Asad laughed, waving him off as if he were a fool. That night, a violent storm raged across the town, shaking shutters and flooding streets. Lightning cracked in the sky, illuminating the merchant's shelves stacked with hoarded food, and Asad felt uneasy but reassured himself that his wealth protected him. The next morning, he discovered that the storm had blocked the main road leading to the market. Supplies couldn't enter the town, and prices soared overnight, yet instead of worrying, Asad celebrated. His greed saw opportunity. He doubled the prices of everything in his shop, from rice to soap. Desperate families pleaded with him for mercy, but he only smirked. And soon his shop became a symbol of cruelty in a time of hardship. Within days, whispers spread through the town like wildfire. People said Asad's heart was colder than winter rain, and children were warned not to walk near his shop. A group of townspeople gathered to plead with him once more. They explained that the storm had left many without shelter or food, but Asad brushed them off, insisting that business was business. Then, something unexpected happened. His suppliers refused to sell him more stock. They had heard of his cruelty and no longer wished to serve him. Asad dismissed them arrogantly, believing he could manage without their help. Days passed, and his shelves grew emptier. Customers stopped coming, even the desperate ones, and the coins he worshipped suddenly felt useless. For the first time, Asad tasted the fear of scarcity. He realized that his shop could not survive on greed alone. But pride kept him from admitting he was wrong. Soon he found himself standing alone in his dusty shop, surrounded by emptiness. The once loud street outside seemed quieter, almost accusing, and he felt the weight of his choices settling heavily on his shoulders. Finally, hunger and exhaustion pushed him to visit the old woman he had turned away. Her home was small but warm, filled with the scent of herbs, and despite everything, she welcomed him inside. She offered him a bowl of soup, though she had little left for herself. Asad lowered his head, unable to meet her eyes, and her kindness cut deeper than any punishment. For the first time in his life, Asad apologized sincerely. His voice shook as he admitted how greed had ruled him, and the woman's forgiveness felt like a door opening in a dark room. The next morning, Asad returned to his shop with a changed heart. He lowered all his prices and began giving essentials to those in need. People were suspicious at first, but slowly kindness replaced fear. His shop, once avoided, became a place of comfort for the whole neighborhood. Children stopped by for treats he now offered freely, and the townspeople began to trust him again bit by bit. In time, Asad discovered a truth far richer than gold. Generosity brought him more peace than all the coins he had hoarded. And he realized that a merchant's true wealth was not in his drawer, but in his heart.